Okay, so everybody should have this book with them. Make sure you have Unit 5. We will open it in just a minute. Today we are going to read a story, and as we read, we are going to circle or underline or highlight these 5 words. Color, early, instead, nothing, and thought. Those are our 5 high-frequency words for this week. Color, early, instead, nothing, and thought. So we are going to highlight those words as we read our story. Our essential question for reading this week is, what sounds can we hear? What sounds can we hear? Who can raise their hand and tell me something that you can hear right now? What is a sound you can hear right now? Boris. Unmute yourself. Boris, what's a sound that you can hear right now?
Nothing.
You don't hear anything right now? What about me talking? Can you hear me talking?
Yes.
That's a sound. So one sound we can hear right now is, Miss Hobrowski talking. Miss H. I'm in my basement right now, and I can hear my dryer. My dryer is running. That's what I hear. Yes, Mohammed. We're not on a page yet. When we are on a page, I will tell you what page. What's something else that we can hear right now? Can you guys hear anything else right now? Amika, unmute yourself. What do you hear?
My brother's making on a sandwich.
She can hear her brother. Amika can hear her brother eating. Amika hears her brother. What else? Wasi, what do you hear?
I can hear my sister.
Wasi can hear his sister. Let's get 2 more. 2 more. What else do we hear? Maybe not even something that you hear right now, but something that you hear sometimes or something that you can hear. What do you hear, Ronan? What? Can you speak up a little bit, Ronan? What? Oh, we're using our Wonders book, but we haven't opened it yet. Right now we're just talking. Our essential question this week is sounds that we can hear. So we're talking about things that we can hear. What's your question, Mohammed?
My mom and my baby, I can hear them.
You hear your mom. So Mohammed hears his mom. All right, give me one more answer. Give me one more answer. Lima, let me unmute you. What do you hear, Lima? What? The wind?
Yeah.
The wind, yeah, if it's windy outside. So Lima hears the wind. Good, so our story this week, the story that we're reading this week, you guys can open your books. Our story is on page... Let me find it. Page 103. 103. And our story is about sounds. So open your book to page 103. We're learning all about sounds. Page 103. Okay, then just listen.
This one?
Yep, that's the one, Boris. Good job. Now remember, as we read today, we're going to circle our high-frequency words. Color, early, instead, nothing, and thought. And after our lesson, I'm going to take a picture of our whiteboard and send it to you guys. Give me a thumbs up when you are on the right page. Page 103. Looks like everybody's there. Good. So our story is called, who can read the title for me? Who can read the title of our story for me? Raise your hand. What's our title? Wasi, go ahead.
Now what's that sound?
Now, what's that sound? That is the title of our story. So we're going to be learning about sounds in this story. Do you guys think this is a fiction or a non-fiction story? Is this fiction or non-fiction? Hendrix, what do you think?
This is fiction. I already did that story.
You've already read it. So Hendrix thinks it's fiction. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with Hendrix, a thumbs down if you disagree. What do we think? Good. Yeah, this is a fiction story. These pictures are not real. They're drawn. This is actually going to be what's called realistic fiction. Realistic fiction means that it's something that could happen. It's not a fantasy story. There's not talking animals. Nothing crazy happens. It's something that could happen in real life, but the author made it up. Good. So you guys can go ahead and flip your page. So we are on the first page of our story, and I will go ahead and read it out loud for you. I'm at the top of page 104. Tap, 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 rat-ta-tat-tat. What is that sound? Asked Gilbert. It started early this morning. I'm going to circle that word early, or underline that word early, because that is one of our high frequency words. It started early this morning. I thought it might stop, but it hasn't. So in that sentence, I underlined those two words, early and thought, because those words are both high frequency words. Let's check out the garage, said Marta. I think Dad is making that sound. So they woke up, it's early in the morning, and they keep hearing this tapping sound, and they don't know what it is. Now I'm on the next page. Zing, zing, zing. Dad was in the garage cutting a board with his saw. Zing, zing, zing. This is not the sound, said Gilbert. This sound is smoother. So they're looking for whatever is making the sound that's going tap, 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 rat-ta-tat-tat. They thought it was coming from the garage, but that was a different sound. Okay, flip your page. Flip your page so you're on page 106 and 107. Boris, leave yourself muted, please. Let's find Gramps, said Marta. He might be making the sound. They quickly ran to the back of the house to find Gramps. Gramps was sweeping the deck with a broom. Swish, swish, swish. This is not the sound, said Gilbert. This sound is much softer. So have they found the sound yet that's going tap, 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 rat-ta-tat-tat? Have they found it yet or no? Give me a thumbs up for yes and a thumb down for no. No, they haven't. Who can make a prediction? Who can make a prediction and tell me what they think the sound is going to be? What do we think is making the tapping sound? Who can make a prediction? Hi, Stephen. Stephen, we're on page 108 in our Wonders book. What do we think the tapping sound is going to be? Who can make a guess? Akil, what do you think?
It's going to be all the sounds that from the it's all going to be all the sounds combined.
Maybe all the sounds combined? That's possible. Wasi, unmute yourself. What do you think? Wasi, you're still muted, honey. You got to hit the unmute button. Here. All right, Wasi, you try to figure out how to unmute it. Amika, what do you think? You have to unmute yourself too. What do you think, Amika?
I think it's a bird would do that thing on a tree.
Maybe. That's possible. Hendrix, do you have a guess?
It's like those little birds that tap trees.
Like a woodpecker? Maybe. Well, let's read to find out. So now I'm at the top of page 108. 108. Let's find Anna instead. I'm going to underline that word instead. That's one of our high frequency words. I'll show you in a minute. Let's find Anna instead, said Marta. Maybe she's making the sound. They found Anna in the driveway. Anna was bouncing a ball. Bam, bam, bam. So you can see the word I underlined. And we learned that Anna wasn't making the sound. Anna is making a bam sound.
Mr. Vasky,
Yes?
you're copying it?
Yeah, underline that same word as me. That word instead, underline.
Okay.
No, that is not the sound, said Gilbert. This sound is slower. This is hopeless, sighed Marta. Can flip your page. I'm at the top of page 110. Tap, 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 rat-ta-tat-tat. There it is again, said Gilbert. He suddenly looked up at the tallest tree. Suddenly he shouted, "Oh, wow, it's a bird. Look at the color on its head," cried Marta. "It is red like a crown." The bird scrambled up and down the tree. Tap, 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 rat-ta-tat-tat. You can see I underlined the word color. I underlined that word color. That's one of our high frequency words. It's a woodpecker pecking for bugs, said Gilbert. Yes, said Marta, and nothing else sounds like it. Tap, 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 rat-ta-tat-tat. And I underlined the word nothing. So Hendrix, I think, read the story already, but she was right. What was making that sound was the woodpecker. We were hearing the woodpecker. That's what they were hearing all day long, and they finally found it at the end of the story. So now we can flip our page to page 114 and 115. We are going to fill out this chart. This is the page that you should be on. I'm going to read you this paragraph right here at the top of page 114. It says, realistic fiction is a made-up story that has characters, a setting, and events that can happen in real life. It has dialogue or words that the characters say that show something about a character or add details to our story. So we're going to talk about, on page 115, we're going to talk about two characters in our story and something we learned from what they said. Something we learned from what they said. So who can tell me, what was the name of one of our characters? What was the name of one of our characters? We have a brother and a sister, and they're trying to figure out what's making this sound, and they each had a name. What was the name of one of them? Does anybody remember? Akil? Anna was one of them. Anna was the girl that was bouncing the ball. What was another character? Amika? Dad. Yep. Boris. What's another one? Boris, you have to unmute yourself, honey. Hit your mute button. Grandpa? Yep, Grandpa was in the story. Good. What were the brother and sister's names? These two. Does anybody remember either of their names? Lima? There was what? Gilbert. Gilbert was the brother. Good. So in the first, or at the top of my chart, in the first column, I'm going to write Gilbert. I drew a line in the middle of my chart so I can separate the two. But in that top box, I'm going to write Gilbert. Gilbert. Gilbert is G-I-L-B-E-R-T. Gilbert. So in that first box, I wrote Gilbert. So let's look back. I'm going to look at page 104. In the very beginning of the book, Gilbert is talking to his sister Marta, and he says, "What's that sound?" asked Gilbert. "It started early this morning, but I thought it might stop, but it hasn't." "Let's check out the garage," said Marta. "I think Dad is making that sound." So from that dialogue, from that conversation Marta and Gilbert had, I learned that they are curious. They are curious to find the sound. They are curious to find the sound. So go ahead and copy that. And give me a thumbs up when you are done. Yes.
I'm not done with the first
Honey,
one.
that's fine. Then copy it down. Give me a thumbs up when you have that copied. Amika's done. Lima's done. Boris is done. Take your time. No rush. Zia, do you have a question? What?
What was that? Hey.
Hi, Christian. We're working on our Wonders book if you want to get your Wonders book out.
Which one is the
We're on page, make sure it's Unit 5. We're on page 115, 115. Yep. You're on page 115. Yep, Christian, that's the right book. Open it up to page 115. Good. All right, now we're going to talk about a different character. We named a lot of them. Let's see. What else did we learn? So I'm looking at page 109, And on page 109 is when we found Anna in the driveway bouncing the ball. And Gilbert says, "No, this is not the sound," said Gilbert. "This sound is slower." And Marta said, "This is hopeless." So for my character, I'm going to write Marta. And I'll show that to you guys in a second to copy. And then I'm going to write that Marta, she is frustrated. Marta is frustrated because they can't find the sound. Sorry, that was kind of a hard one to fit in. So you guys can add that to your chart. Marta is frustrated. The way she said that, she said, "This is hopeless." They couldn't find the sound. They could not find what was making the sound. Christian, you joined kind of late. We read a story that goes with this. So if you want to read the story before this, after we're done, you can. Honey, just copy it down. Just copy it down.
I'm not done too.
Okay, honey. That's why I'm still showing it to you.
What page is it on?
We are on page 115. 115.
Guess I should have asked which book. I mean, I'm looking through the Wonders book. Which book is it?
It is Wonders, Unit 5.
Unit 5. Okay, this one.
So if you joined us a little bit late and you missed the story, you can read the story just before this that goes with what we're filling out after we get off the call to explain it a little bit more. Give me a thumbs up when you're done copying. A thumbs up on Boris, you goof. And if you're not done yet, then finish, silly. Ziad's done, Amika's done, Akil is done.
Why did you see? Look, what name is that right there? Gilbert. Write it, G.
Ronan is done.
What do you see?
Lassie is done.
What is it?
Gilbert. Spit write everything you see on the like that.
All right, so that is going to be the end of our lesson today. I'll keep holding it up because I know a lot of you are still copying, so I won't put it down yet. But if you are done copying it down, then we are done with our lesson for today. You have homework, though. You have homework, though. I want you guys to do a writing prompt. I want you guys to write down 5 things that make you happy. You're going to write 5 things that make you happy, and it's due on Friday. So when you're done writing, turn it in on that Shobi app so I can see it and give you a grade for it, but it's due on Friday. And I'll send that information out in Class Dojo too so your parents know. Hendrix, do you have a question?
Thank you.
Raise your hand if you have a question. Mohammed, raise your hand if you have a question. People are waiting. Hendrix, unmute yourself.
So we're actually doing work with them Friday.